to start the recap, basically, we saw in the 34th verse of chapter 4 how the Shastra advises a student who is keen to follow the Jnana Marg, who's keen to establish himself, herself in the knowledge of the absolute oneness with the truth, Ishvara, with the truth, Ishvara, and to establish that oneness, the student was advised to first be seeking a person who can deliver the knowledge given in the Shastra regarding the truth. In other words, it is to say that how, despite one's keenest desire to know, this is one subject which cannot be discovered on one's own, by one's own self-effort alone. So this says that what you ought to be careful about, first and foremost, is having recognized that you have an earnest desire to know the truth, you will have to seek someone who knows it well before you and can present it. So must know it and can present it. In other words, he said he's the one who is a jnani. A jnani is one who has the tattva darshan. He knows the tattva. He knows the truth. He knows the essence. How does he know it? Because he himself has learnt it in the parampara, how to understand the Shastra statements, how to interpret the Shastra statements. These statements have gone through a lot of verifications from many, many people, generations and generations, where whoever has been closely following the Shastra has understood the Shastra's vision. Not only has understood the Shastra's vision, is also someone who has absorbed it and who is living it. The important thing is that the Shastra vision is easily intellectually managed, comprehensible. One can still accept it, understand it. But when you recognize that the intellectual knowledge is not this knowledge is not that which is going to find its utility in the world. If you gain an intellectual knowledge of physics, biology, chemistry, management, any subject, any knowledge, all knowledge pertains to the intellect. You take care of any knowledge, you think of any knowledge, you will find that it has some relevance back in the world. but the knowledge which pertains to your own self, once it is given to you with clarity, how will you translate this back into the world? It doesn't. Actually, it doesn't. So it's a big flaw when they say that you apply this in life. This knowledge is totally different from all other knowledges. Equipment being the same, which is the intellect. The difference is, while every knowledge you can be the maneuver of it, you will remain the subject of it. And the object is something you can handle, and there's a world out there, the object out there, which you can apply it on. But once you gain this knowledge, thereafterwards, it's a knowledge about yourself. Knowledge about yourself means now this knowledge cannot be further transferred back into the world. You cannot apply it into objects. Knowledge of your own self you cannot apply in objects. You cannot better the objects by gaining the knowledge of your own self. By gaining the knowledge of your own self, how it works is that it removes the misconceptions you had about your own self before. So just as, supposing Shastra's example, in a twilight time, you saw a shadow, but you were not alert enough to say it's a shadow. Quickly, somewhere, you immediately associate the shadow with some sort of a ghost, twilight area. You thought it was a ghost, temporary delusion. And when you looked very, very carefully, you saw that it is actually a post. So you mistook the post for the ghost. Or our standard traditional example, you mistook the rope for the snake. Now, when you mistake one thing for the other, then the knowledge of the original thing displaces the misunderstanding, misperception that one had. What happens with this knowledge of one's own self? This knowledge that you have learned, that you wish to learn, or you are learning, or you have learned about your own self, this knowledge cannot further transfer back into the world. It is removing the misconception you held about your own self. So there is no application in that sense about the world. Now here he said to a student, discerning, seeking student, first of all, the caution always had been Vedanta is to be sought by mumukshus. For any amount of knowledge seeking for betterment of any other area, there are other knowledges also there. Alternatives are there. This knowledge will work on your own self. Yes, it does improve the person. Therefore, indirectly, it helps to bring your actions, bring your relations, make them better. But these are indirect effects. These are not the effects that are going to be something that is going to improve upon or correct the misperception that you had about yourself. He said here, Tat Vidhi Pranipatena. So what the Shastra says is, I'm just revising. What the Shastra says is, first identify what is your seeking. What do you want to seek? If you identify that you seek the truth, if you identify that you seek the absolute, if you identify that there is a recognition of a knowledge which is nothing to do with sensory objects, but the knowledge which is to do with your own self, कुछ तो और ज्ञान होगा मेरे को मेरे बारे में लेके, मुझको लेके, अपने को लेके, मेरा जो मेरा ज्ञान है क्या ये एब्सोल्यूट है? क्या ये सत्य है? तो कोई क्या ऐसा ज्ञान भी है जो मुझको मेरे बारे में है? Because fact is, when we are growing up, we don't recognize that we have desires. We don't recognize that we have egos. We don't recognize that we function with extreme attachments. We don't recognize that we have fears and phobias, etc. We don't recognize all these things in us. We just take them as natural. We take them as something that is very absolutely uh, firm. We don't question that knowledge. He says, once you've recognized that you have somewhere in you the earnestness of wanting a knowledge which is perhaps only to do with you, then your next step should be, don't take it for granted that everybody will know it. This is something which is going to be very strange to us. We presume that whoever has a book in the hand must be the knower of the knowledge. Your responsibility will be, as a student who still wants to know about themselves, is to now seek the person who is going to have the vision of the knowledge, the seer of the knowledge. Means the intellect itself becoming clear, the person has digested the knowledge to remove the misperceptions that he holds about his own self. That means he has removed the personality layers. He has sifted away in the light of knowledge the play of the personality, which is only interactive with the world. It only interacts with things and beings in the world. It only interacts with things and beings in the world. That personality is associated in a manner that the world, you, the personality, are always together. But in the knowledge of the Tattvam, makes it very clear that you, the personality, is as misplaced in reality as much as the world is misplaced in its reality. So the person has separated the notion by digesting the knowledge. They are Tattvadarshi. Shastra says, seek them. If you want your knowledge unobstructed, if you want the perception of who you are delivered without obstacles, if you want the perception delivered without the samsari experiences, then the only one who can deliver it is the one who is Tattvadarshi. That Tattvadarshi, now what should you do? He says, Pranipatena. If you have earned the vision of a Tattvadarshi, thereafterwards, align your own self so that you get tuned to the words. Most of us in the world do not put this effort when we seek knowledge. Most of us in the world expect the person who delivers to make that change. People say, आसानी से बता दो, simplify करके बता दो. They'll say, what is the easy way in which you can tell us the message of the Gita? Why is it so complicated? The knowledge is so complicated. Give us something which is easily understandable, relatable. Can we not do it ourselves? Can we not study the Shastra ourselves? A lot of such things. Now, what have we actually done? Instead of raising our own self to align with the perception, we are actually wanting the perception to align with us. We want the knowledge to align with us. And that is the huge thing that even in the modern educational system, you find that students and teachers have a huge gap between them. The teacher may want to give a lot more, but the student, you realize, is not receiving a lot more because the student is waiting to be given at that level. Yes, some part of it can be done, but for the knowledge which is to do with your own self, he says that pranipatena referred to the point that you are ready to make the alignment on your side. The job of the teacher is given in the second line. But the first line said, what is your responsibility when you go approach a person like that? Is to make sure that whatever is given to you, you try and adapt to that understanding. And because all that knowledge is going to be new to you, you have all the rights to question it. Pariprashnena. Ask. Wherever it is not clear, you can ask. So that clarity, it gets drawn out. It even inspires the teacher to bring the clarity out, because then with that sincerity of wanting to learn, he says this pariprashnena, this process is not going to be something that will take a very short time. It's not a capsule. It will take its own time to deliver itself. So when it delivers, he says that sevaya also meant to say that you are in readiness to accept that this is going to be something which I may have to continue for some time. That I will align myself till my perception is fully formed. And this being so, seeking the Tattvadarshi, this is when they will be inspired by your conduct and by your jignasa, when they will see that you are sincere, joyfully they will impart this knowledge. Joyfully they will deliver that perception with which they have the freedom. Joyfully they will give it to you. This is 34th verse. Having said that, 35th verse, I have muted everybody. I don't know how it gets unmuted.
They can do it on their own if they unmute.
Yes, they can do it on their own, but
Accidental possible.
so now 35th, 36th and 37th verse. Remember the chapter 4 once again is Jnana Prakarana. This chapter means it is giving first what is that knowledge? Jnana Yog, kya hai? Because this chapter is the essence of the entire Upanishad. All Upanishads, essence of the Upanishads. What is that Jnana Yoga? Then first and foremost he said, what is the Jnana Swarupam? Jnana ka Swarup kya hai? Which was said from verse 18 to 24. What is the nature of knowledge? And in that, remember verse 18, it said, the one who can see karta and akarta and akarta and karta. He is the one who sees. That 18th verse was the crux, the fulcrum, which was discerning every personality layer that one has taken over and sifting it away in the category of karta, differentiating it away from akarta, and that akarta atma, he says, that is a jnana swarup. ज्ञान का स्वरूप है कि आप अकर्ता आत्मा हो. This akarta atma, next he said was, how do you get there? So he says, you have jnana sadhanas. All the yajnas that we saw from verse 25 to 32 were the yajnas which spoke of the sadhanas that one takes on in the Jnana Marg. The difference between Karma Marg and Jnana Marg, having said before also, in Karma Marg, emphasis is on doing the action. In Jnana Marg, emphasis is not on the action. Emphasis is on removing the misperception about oneself. And actions are only done to the extent they are necessary for Chitta Shuddhi, survival and Chitta Shuddhi. So, Jnana Sadhanas was the 25th to 32nd verse. The 33rd verse, which we had previously seen, was the glory of Jnanam. Having given all the practices in the Jnana Marg, along with a lot of other yajnas, he had said Jnanam is the superior most. And this superior most Jnanam glorified in 33rd. 34th, which we concluded last time, he said, how do you seek it? Now 35th, 36th, 37th is, but natural, if you go by the thought flow, is going to be, having got the Jnanam, what will be the phalam? Kya milega Jnana se? So 35th, 36th and 37th verse are going to talk about various definitions, as it were, of what is Jnana Phal. In other words, Jnana Phal is moksha. So what is moksha? That will be said in 3 verses, and various definitions would be explained, given in this context. So we'll start with the 35th verse now, and Kiran can follow after I chant. Yatyatva na punarmoham
Yajñātvā na punarmoham
evam yasyasi pandava
evam yasyasi pandava
yena bhutanyasheshena
yena bhutanyasheshena
Drakshasyatmanyatho mayi
Drakshasyatmanyatho mayi
Yakyatva na punarmoham evam yasyasi pandava
Yajñātvā na punarmoham evam yasyasi pandava
Yena bhutanyasheshena Drakshasyatmanyatho mayi
Yena bhutanyasheshena Drakshasyatmanyatho mayi
Yatyatva na punarmoham evam yasyasi pandava Yena bhutanyasheshena Drakshasyatmanyatho mayi
Yajñātvā na punarmoham evam yasyasi pandava Yena bhutanyasheshena Drakshasyatmanyatho mayi.
So now he says, knowing that knowledge, जिसको पाने के लिए आप तत्पर होके ढूंढने निकले, ऐसा कौन है जिसके पास वो तत्व दर्शन है और भाग्य है तो मिला, और जब मिला और आपने वो ज्ञान साधना की तो उसके बाद क्या है? यत ज्ञात्वा, जान लेने के बाद क्या है? Because knowledge, once it begins, कभी ना कभी तो it will go through the end of its course. So what will happen जब मैंने जान लिया तो? As I said in the class in the beginning, your application will not be back in the world. Becoming a better person is not going to be your objective. That, am I a person? That is the inquiry. Am I really this limited person? Am I really the person who gets born and who will die and will get into insignificance later on? Am I really the person who will become non-existent at another point of time? Do I really only have a value as much as this life and the senses reveal themselves to be? Is this changing body my nature? So many such questions when the mind is flooded with. That person goes, seeks, and this, having learned who you are, yat kyatva, then what happens? Krishna is telling this to Arjuna. He says, Na punar moham eva. Na punaha moham eva. Na punaha moham eva. He says, ये जानकर फिर से न पुनः फिर से नहीं मोह नहीं होगा इस प्रकार का एवं इस प्रकार का means that kind of the first chapter that revealed Arjuna's state. He says that delusion, that confusion, that vyakulta, that ghabrahat, that feeling of wanting, disturbed, agitated, that फिर नहीं होगा. Never will you get yasyasi. Means you will never get to that state of mental affliction ever again. Yasyasi. प्राप्त नहीं होगा अब तुमको. You will not get. What will you not get? मोहम. आपको फिर से कभी मोह नहीं होगा. And मोह again, Hindi word, twice the meaning. One meaning is this attachment. The other meaning is confused intellect. Basically, when you just don't know what is right and wrong, you don't know. What was Arjuna suffering from? Both. He didn't know what was right and wrong. He didn't know what he should do and not do. He did not know where he should move, he should not move. He did not know what he should. No, he just was confused what was righteous and what is unrighteous. What is his duty, what is not his duty. And it all surfaced from his attachments. So he says, this kind of a delusion, you will not get, Pandav, O son of Pandu, Yena, by which he also gives another definition. So the first definition that you get of moksha here is, means the phal, gyan ka phal kya hai? Moksha word yahan nahi use hua. But if you just say, what is the benefit of this knowledge? If you really understand, is the benefit going to be that you'll become efficient in the world? Is the benefit going to be that you will become productive in the world? Is the benefit going to be that you will have harmony in life? Those benefits are incidental. They are bound to be there because whoever is a grown-up person will definitely have all these coming along with him. But the real benefit, which seems to not be very well known and does not seem to attract many people, but it is the very essence of knowledge, is that forever you seek a state of mental peace. Mind itself is going to be falsified at another stage. But to convey this, he says, this conflicting mind that every individual experiences throughout his life in some form or the other, in some degree or the other, this conflicting mind, which brings about a sense of disturbance, that conflict is something that you will never get again. O son of Pandu, Yena, he also says another, now second definition, and that is by which, means by knowing which, jankar, jisko jankar, bhutani asheshena, all beings, asheshena means kisi ko bhi nahi choda, without exception, without exclusion, संपूर्ण भूतों को पूरी तरह से निश्शेष भाव से, निश्शेष भाव से means without any exceptions, means you will not even have one person out there in the world for whom you will have differentiations seen in your mind. He says, Bhutani asheshena drakshyasi atmani. You will see them in oneself. Means once the knowledge is firm, established in you, you will see all the beings, all of them without exception, in your own self as non-separate from you. Not only that, The second stage of it is atho, atha, uske par, tadantar, thereafter, mai. You will see them in me also, says Krishna. And that me meant Satchidananda, Ishvara, here Krishna. What he says is, once you have knowledge, the bheda buddhi that you have, the bheda difference that you see, that what you understand as ye or me, aham and idam, that you see as what we say, tu or me. When you see that there is this bheda buddhi, whereby we have the experience of three compartments, you may say. Three compartments is there is one compartment which is completely God related, which means Bhagwan hai, nahi hai, Ishwar hai, nahi, etc. It is something which is completely unknown and something that I will never ever get to examine as an object. But it is there in my mind as it's different from me. So I am different, God is different. Then there is another aspect where the world is different and I am different. That means people and objects belong to the world and they're different from me. The more the difference one recognizes, the more ajnanam there is. That means if I see myself only as a lonely, alone person who is stuck in a corner, not identifying with anybody, and I feel a sense of I just am capsuled. Shastra says Ajnana Lakshan. Because once you have the knowledge of the truth, and what is the knowledge of the truth? The knowledge of truth is knowledge of your own self. Once you have this knowledge of your own self, the fall of that is that this differentiation that you feel with the world and yourself, between them and me, between me, I am separate, means I am completely of a different sense of reality. The world is also a different sense of reality to me. They seem to be existing as different realities. Means I call the world real and I call me real. And I also, if I'm an atheist, of course, a different thing, I also call God. There seems to be something. I have doubts, but I have a category for it. Category is the best word. I have three compartments in my own understanding of me and my life. Me and my life being one central focus. In this, the world I see different. लोगों को मैं अपने से अलग देखूं, चीजों को मैं अपने से अलग देखूं, और दूसरी तरफ भगवान को मैं अपने से अलग देखूं. That is a lakshana of ajnanam. When there is jnanam, he says, you will destroy this. The jnanam destroys the bheda, the differentiation. So you see all the beings in you, and you also see all beings in him. So there is this, in you we call as Jivatma. You see the world within yourself. So the difference is gone. Every being here is actually an extension of your own self. You see them in yourself would mean that you're not physically seeing them. You are identifying the nature of life that pulsates through this is what pulsates everywhere. And this is not an intellectual recognition alone. This is a recognition whereby the very dvesha and the very raga for particularness vanishes. जब सब एक ही है, तो there is no exceptional intonation arising for anything, because it is all in one category. If my hand is showing 5 different fingers, I am not treating them different just because they function different. I treat them as one hand. This one hand I treat as part of one body. This one body I treat only as a part of the world. This world is non-separate from this individual. And this individual is actually also as much an appearance as the world is an appearance. And all this is an appearance, or it's all functional. It is all seen functional only in the light of that which really is the formless absolute light. That is the only substantial truth about oneself. Once one recognizes the bhed, these three compartments that one had before in Ajnanam, these three compartments dissolve themselves. And once they dissolve, these two, first and the second line, if you go over it again, Yat Kyatva na punar moham evam yasyasi. So calling Pandav, Arjun, O Arjun, once you have connected with the 34th verse and 33rd verse, and you go back and connect it. Shastra study is a connective study. It's not an independent. Of course, independent verses are completely also complete in themselves. But if you see it in a connection, Yat Kyatvana Punar Moham Evam Yasyasi Pandava. You will never again become into this halat, O Arjuna. That means Krishna is addressing Arjuna, who's still in that halat. We are in the 4th chapter. In the 4th chapter, he is still seeing Arjuna as shaken person. He's still suffering from delusion. He's still suffering from mental afflicted symptoms, afflictions. So he says, this kind of a halat of yours, what he called him as Klebyam Masmakamah Partha. He says, what sort of a personality are you even exhibiting? That he says, ye jo tumhara hal hai na, this Shastra says is a deterioration, is a decline in one's own glory. Even as a jiva, even as an individual, you are so glorious that to slip into such a state, even as a personality to slip into such a state, he says is not becoming of you, O Pandav. He's reminding him he's Pandu's putra. So he's calling Arjuna that your real identity belongs much more than this halat of yours at this stage. So this becomes like a learning for us when we are afflicted by our own mental states. And he says, this is not your state. Your jivatvam itself is glorious in the sense that it is a reflection of who you are. That jivatvam may also you slip into a state of complete delusion. He says this will never happen again, ever, Pandav, having gained that knowledge. And the second thing was, he says, Yena Bhutani.
नोटी करो नहीं नोटी नहीं करो उसमें
So he says, Yena Bhutani, you will, by which knowledge, you will see all the beings in yourself and you will see all of them non-separate from Ishvara. Means you will only see, in other words, if you get the essence of this, you will only see one. What is that one? That one alone in me, he says. That my word, this my, in me, he says. That means you only see one. And that one, Krishna Tattvam, Paramatma Tattvam, that one, he says, is in whom all these names and forms will disappear. Yes, in our Vedantic example, the famous example where we say all the pots, different shapes, different sizes, etc., colors, everything, they all disappear. Names and forms all disappear when there is the knowledge of the clay. So when you begin to see the clayness, then you stop seeing the particular names and forms. You don't pick them up for that. You don't call them real. You may use them, but the sense of reality has got diminished from there. Now this understanding that the sense of reality diminishes from the objective realm, also from your personality, that sense of reality diminishing is growing the sense of real vision of I. Paramatma, he says, Mai, in me, मुझ में देखोगे. And that मुझ में जब दिखता है तो वो कोई कृष्ण मिस्टर कृष्णा नहीं दिखने वाले. That मुझ में means that in you yourself you see the Paramatma Tattvam, and this personality जिससे आपने अपने आप को जोड़ के रखा है, ये personality नहीं है. So you don't see the differentiation of the world and the objects. You don't see the differentiation of your own self as a person. All that is seen is that one Tattvam, which is the real. And so he says, just to complete the translation, जिसको जानकर फिर तो इस प्रकार मोह को प्राप्त नहीं होगा. हे पांडुपुत्र, जिस ज्ञान से तू संपूर्ण भूतों को निश्शेष भाव से पहले अपने में तदंतर मुझ में सच्चिदानंद घन परमात्मा में देखेगा. And then you see the translation in English is simple, knowing which you will not once again get deluded in this manner, O son of Pandu. This is the first definition. The knowledge with which you will see all beings in yourself and in me, this is the second indication that one has knowledge. If we say we have knowledge and we still function with a lot of differentiation, then this is a verse that tells us this is not knowledge. And with this, we will move on to the Bhashyam of this verse. Very simple, small words, small paragraphs. Yat gyatva,
Yat gyatva,
yat jnanam,
yat jnanam,
taihi upadishtam,
taihi upadishtham,
adhigamya,
adhigamya,
punaha bhuyaha.
there is prapya here. Prapya punah bhuyaha.
Your book has prapya.
Oh yeah. Understood.
But it is the meaning of
Adhigamya.
adhigamya, so it's okay.
Yeah.
But it's not in this
Adhigamya
Bhashya.
punah bhuyaha.
Moham evam
Moham evam
yatha idanim
yatha idanim
moham gataha asi
moham gataha asi
punaha evam na yasyasi.
punaha evam na yasyasi.
He Pandava.
He Pandava.
He says yat gyatva again. This yat gyatva is this yat namulam. So yat gyatva is equal to yat jnanam. Same thing. Yat gyatva jisko jaan ke. Gyatva means jisko jaankar. That we saw just now in the word breakup. So he says what jaankar means jnanam jaankar. So it's not no big discovery. It says just jnaan ko jaankar. So if you complete this yat gyatva, you can never get misinterpreted. Yat gyatva means just jnaan ko jaankar. Taihi. Who are those taihi referring to? The previous verse, those Gyan Tattvadarshis that you had approached. Taihi, those people, Upadishtam, once they have given you the Upadesha, Khatam ho gaya hai, they have taught you. Once they have imparted this knowledge to you, Adhigamya Punaha Bhuyaha Moham Evam. You will not get, Adhigamya is Prapya, you will not get this state, Punaha, here again, Bhuyaha, Banna, you will never again become this Moham, Moolam, Evam, Moolam, इस प्रकार से जैसे इदानीम, now, Moham Gataha Asi. He says, now as you have got deluded, O Arjuna, this way, once you have been taught by these seers, you will never get deluded ever again. Asi punaha evam na yasyasi he Pandava. Yasyasi Pandava. In this manner, O Pandava, you will not get deluded again. Then he says, Kincha,
Kim cha
Yena Jnanena,
yena jnanena
Bhutani Asheshena,
bhutani asheshena
Brahmadini,
brahmadini
Stambhaparyantani,
stambhaparyantani
Drakshasi Sakshat,
drakshasi sakshat
Atmani Pratyagatmani,
atmani pratyagatmani
Mat Samsthani Iti,
mat samsthani iti
Atho Api Mai,
atho api mayi
Vasudeve,
vasudeve
Parameshware cha Imani Iti,
parameshware cha imani iti
Kshetragneshwaraikatvam,
kshetrajneshwaraitvatvam
Sarvopanishad Prasiddham,
sarvopanishad prasiddham
Drakshasi Ityarthaha.
drakshyasi ityardaha.
Now he's giving the second definition, Kincha, moreover. Now this Kincha that Bhashyakara has written here, this Kincha is a very important thing. That means just to say this much that I will never get deluded again is not an indicator of your complete knowledge. Kincha, moreover, there is an additional clause to it. He says that Jnanam gets complete only when Yena Jnanena, by which knowledge, Bhutani Asheshena, Yena Bhutani Asheshena, all the beings, which means from where Brahmadini Stambha Paryantani. He says from the living beings, all living beings, Bhutani here he is including all living beings, from Brahmaji onwards, etc. Highest, the supremost living form, Brahmaji, the very creator, from the very creator itself to Stambha Paryanta, ending at, means the lowest being, highest Brahmaji, lowest being the Stambha. And Stambha here is different from Stambha. This Stambha means a living, minutest of minute microorganism. That any form of a microorganism. That microorganism, it can be, we all know the microorganisms in the present context, it's all very alert to all of us. Any microorganism seen as a living entity. The Vedas sees everything as a living entity. It is not just enough to say RNAs and DNA material is what this is made up of, organism is made up of. Organism is a living entity. Stambha, minutest of it. He says all of them. Look at this. Kincha, moreover, by that knowledge from Brahmaji to the minutest of all, Drakshasi. Here you will see Sakshat Atmani. He says you will see it as Sakshat, means clearly. You will see that there is a non-difference between any life form and yourself. Atmani, here just to understand it clearly, Shankara says Pratyak Atmani, within yourself. You will not see it something outside of you. Within your own self means in your own mind. You have so well understood that no living form can be separated from its own source. And its source, that which pulsates here as conscious being, that consciousness, that awareness, that life force that operates here is the life force that operates everywhere. You will not be able to differentiate thereafterwards as to say कि उसका दर्द दर्द नहीं हो सकता और तुम्हारा दर्द दर्द हो सकता है, वो नहीं हो सकेगा. क्यों? That level of understanding that the life force is the same. So therefore there is nothing special here running through me which is not running through somewhere else. Maybe, if anything, you will start seeing the dissolution of your own special perception of yourself being special, because the life force is actually specially running through all life beings. That's what's making them a life being. What is making it a living being is that there is a life force operative that is functional there. That Pratyagatmani, you will see it outside you. Means you recognize this life force here is the life force which is operative everywhere, and that this and that are not two different things. Mat samsthani iti means you are the Aadhar of it. This is a very big statement, and see how Shankara has put it in quotes. Iti, in this manner, you will see it that the Aadhar, the Adhishtan of the life force is here within yourself. Pratyagatmani. You are the very life Adhishtan. This iti, he says, in this manner is where your Jnanam will result. Atho api mai vasudeve. Also, he says, api mai, in me, who me, Vasudev. Who is Vasudev? He says, in me also, and now he gives quotes and quotes. Parameshwara cha imani. He says, Parameshware cha imani. The one who is all these imanis, referring to all the living beings, including oneself, is actually non-separate. The Adhishtan is Parameshwar. So you are first recognizing that living being's life force as that operative in you. You are the Adhishtan of it. And then of all living beings, including so-called you, that you is the Parameshwara. Which Parameshwara is the Adhishtan of all this? And you, not the small you, but that you who is Kshetrajnaha Ishvara Ekatvam. He says, what is the Kshetrajna in you? The Kshetram Kshetrajna Vibhaga Yogaha, chapter 13. Going to be elaborating on this, and some of you have done it. All of you have done it. Most of you have done it. Kshetrajna and Ishvara Ekatvam. Kshetrajna referring here to the Jivatma's consciousness, and Ishvara is the Paramatma seen. Ekatvam seen between these two means there is no duality, there is no division. Sarva Upanishad Prasiddham Drakshasi Ityartha. And this is the message of the Upanishad. All the Upanishads are showing Kshetrajna Ishvara Ekatvam. This Kshetrajna Ishvara Ekatvam alone is called Jnanam. There is nothing else called Atma Jnana. If the Atma Jnana that you are sought is not bringing Ishvara Kshetrajna Ekatvam, and that Atma Jnana is bringing you back into the realms of cycles of action, then it is still not the Jnanam. So he says, this Jnanam Drakshasi, you will see both these once you have the phalam of Jnanam. So it becomes the most subtlest sadhana, and it becomes the subtlest pursuit, because by knowing this, you get the two states, which means you are freed from delusion and you also see oneness everywhere. And with this, he now continues in the next verse, 36th verse. So in 36th verse, he continues to say the next definition, and this we'll take up tomorrow. We'll have to open up all the documents otherwise. Api chedasi papebhyah sarvebhyah papakrittamaha sarvam jnana plavenaiva vrijinam santarishyasi. Now here in this 36th verse, he will give you the third definition, and the third definition is papa nivritti. So something with which all papam is destroyed. We'll take this up tomorrow. This will end the class. Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti